We're going taste testing. Get your tongue out, right? Because I'm gonna need it in just a sec. I have an expert with me. Her name's Christine. Say hello, Christine.
Hello.
All right, that's enough. All right, calm down. We're going to meet Christine in a sec. She will teach you what goes on your tongue when you taste stuff. So, do we need to prepare? Do we need to kind of rinse our mouth out or anything?
Yes, actually, just plain water would be good.
Just plain water. Oh, you have a French accent. Are you French?
Yes, I am French.
Okay. So, go rinse your mouth out, which reminds me of an episode that happened once when I was about 10. My mum caught me saying, blimey, and marched me off to the bathroom and washed my mouth out with soap. Anyway, go wash your mouth out, and we'll come back in a sec, all right?
Malcolm Boyden.
Every weekday morning from 10, join me for the most unmissable stories and some real local legends. This week, Oxford United director and lifelong Hughes fan Jim Rosenthal joined me, talking about his early days as a reporter.
I watched the first 15 minutes and I have to go outside the ground, knock on a door and say, excuse me, have you got a phone? And then I go back and it'll be 3-1 to the home team, you see.
And his son.
When I was on a plane to go with Oxford United to Boston, turned on the in-flight entertainment and there is Friday night dinner and my son staring at me at 35,000 feet.
Malcolm Boyden.
Listen again to Jim's interview on our website now at bbc.co.uk/Oxford. And you should, it's fascinating stuff.
BBC Radio Oxford.
And today, Malcolm meeting Roger Mitty. Roger's dad was one of the founding fathers of Oxfam, and Roger spent his life helping others, including saving the life of a young boy. Hear his story with Malcolm today from 10. It's right now. It's at 20 to 9.
Phil Gale.
On BBC Radio Oxford.
So we've been hearing this morning about what it takes to become a professional food tester. An Oxfordshire company is recruiting people to join its testing panel. MMR works with lots of the big manufacturers, and their panel of taste testers gets paid to try out all kinds of food and drink. Christine Barnago from MMR is here to tell me more. Morning, Christine.
Morning.
So, first of all, what does it take to become a professional taste tester?
Well, obviously, your taste buds have to work correctly. So we actually do a lot of screening, and that's the first part, and that's one of the exercises you're going to do. But we need to be having people that have a high sensory knowledge, so that they can actually recognise and pull apart in detail what they're tasting, and actually then also articulate this. So you could be the best taster in the world, but if you couldn't explain to me what you're perceiving, well, unfortunately, you would be no good as a panellist.
Okay, so are you telling me that not everyone then, that not everyone's tongue works well?
Well, your tongue will actually physiologically work well, but how then you interpret it and how your brain interprets it might be different, and you might not be in tune in the same way.
Okay, most of us have got one, a tongue. Why don't you take us on a little tour of our tongues and tell us what's in it and what it does?
So on the tongue, you've got lots of little bumps, and those are the papillae, the taste buds. And so in each of those, you have actually chemical receptors. And those, when you actually chew your food with the saliva, will actually break down the food. And you'll have little substances that will actually lock onto those receptors.
I'm starting to salivate, is that?
And that's the substances that will actually then get registered and will actually tell you it's either sweet or it's salty or it's bitter. And that's the sensation you'll perceive.
That's what happens when we taste something. We chew it to break it down, the saliva acts on it to break it down further, and the saliva acts on these chemical receptors, our taste buds, to give us a sensation in our heads.
Yes. And then also, if you have spices and spicy food, they're also release volatile compounds, and those will actually travel up the nose and will actually give you also a sensation of smell in itself.
Okay.
So things like cinnamon, for example, if you actually pinch your nose and put a spoonful of cinnamon powder, you'll actually get very, very little taste as such. And if you release your nose, suddenly cinnamon will actually be the well-known flavour that you have, just because you have your nose receptors on.
Now, tongues, I'm told we have four senses, is that right, on our tongues? 4 tastes?
The 4 basic tastes, yes, mostly, which are sweet, salty, bitter, and sour.
And this is what you brought in the test. So there are 4 cups on the table labelled A, B, C and D. Each contains a clear substance.
Yes.
What are we going to do?
What you're going to do is try them in the order. In between, you'll have to rinse your palate with just plain water. and just tell me what you think actually out of those 4 basic tastes they represent.
So the basic tastes again are
Sweet,
salt.
yeah, bitter, and sour.
Okay.
And you cannot try them again, so you have to get it.
Oh, first time.
Yes,
All right,
first
so
time.
I'm going to just... So this is A.
Yeah.
And some water. Oh, I've brought myself a bucket as well. So I just take a sip.
Yes,
a sip.
take a sip.
It doesn't really taste of anything. Does this mean that have I failed? It kind of tastes a little bit nothingy. That's okay. It tastes a bit.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, is it? Okay, that of those 4, I'm going to say is A is bitter. Although I might change my mind.
Yes, you're
Okay.
allowed to change your mind as you try them.
Okay, so now I have to rinse my tongue off,
Yes.
and you're going to give me D now.
Yes.
Which is also another colourless liquid. Now this this has a greater taste, but I couldn't tell it. Oh, sour. So this is D. I'm going to say that D is sour. So these tastes aren't very strong, are they?
No, they're not very strong. It really is when you have no other distractions
Yeah.
of either the smell or the appearance. Actually, it's very difficult to pick up just the taste in itself, just the sourness.
I want to say, oh, B is salt. Oh, she's laughing at me now. Oh, hang on. B salt is what I think. And oh, this C just tastes like C doesn't taste of anything. I have a feeling that I'm going to be no good as a taste tester. C tastes. There's nothing. Oh, bitter. C is bitter. Okay.
Okay.
How have I done?
Well, you've actually done quite well.
Oh,
It's just that-
she's trying to cheer me up now.
No, that's fine. It's just the first one you said that.
I had a
potentially-
problem with the first one.
Yeah, it was a bitter. And actually, it's very. That's why we always try it first. It's actually sweet. But actually,
The first one was sweet.
yes, but it's very difficult when you just actually try it first and you don't have the very powerful sweetness that you tend to have in sweet foods, and it's just a little bit of sucrose in the water. It's very difficult to pick up sweetness just on its own.
So I got the first. The first one was sweetness.
Yeah.
I said it was bitter. The second one that was. I said it was sour. Did I?
Yes, and it's actually sour.
Oh yes.
It
The
is.
Third one I said was salt,
And it is.
and the fourth one.
Was bitter, and it's right.
Oh yes, 3 out of 4. Mind you, Lou Hannon got 4 out of 4. So would that make me a good taster?
Well, it's a start.
That gets me through the door.
It's the first exercise.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, it doesn't get me through the door.
No, when we do the recruitment, they actually have an hour of test.
Oh, wow.
We do. So we actually screen on the basic taste, but on ranking of solutions. We do also a smell test, and obviously checking that people do not have any visual impairments, because we need to do them to assess colours correctly.
And you do all this so that people who make biscuits, who make pies, can come along to you and just find out what's going on when people taste their products.
Exactly, yes.
Isn't that extraordinary?
'Cause
Can I
when-
ask how much you pay?
It's actually a part-time job, so in terms of the pay on the hour, I don't actually know exactly.
All right.
But
It's always worth a question. It's always worth asking. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in.
no problem at all.
That's Christine Barnago from MMR. They're taste testers. I got 3 out of 4. I know Lou Hannon got 4 out of 4, and she's going to be unbearable from now.